Well, welcome everyone. I'm Dori Soukup, founder of InSPAration Management. And for the next hour, we're going to be discussing 6 shifts to help you transform your entire guest relations department, or as you might be calling it, a reception department. So I want you to start using this new language and start calling them guest relations, because that's really what it's all about. It's about your guests and the relations that we build with them. So what we're going to be talking about is how can we take this department from being order takers to being revenue generators while they're delivering a great guest experience. Now, before we dive in, if you were with us a little bit earlier, we were naming all the different countries that we have participants from all over the world, literally from every part of every continent on the planet. And nothing gives us more pleasure than to be hosting this event for you as a way for us to give back to the community and to make sure that we are all delivering a great guest experience while we're being as successful as possible. So I want to say a special welcome to all of our friends from the US. We even have a few members with us here today. We have people from China, from Nigeria, from Australia, from Ireland, all over Canada. So again, nothing gives us more pleasure than to be hosting this event for all of you so we can contribute to your success. So let me start by telling you first who this is ideal for. Your time is very valuable and so is ours. I want to make sure that you're going to benefit from our time together today. So if you are a medical professional, an entrepreneur, an expert, somebody who's in charge of running a medical spa or a spa, and if you're looking for ways to transform your guest relations department, or as I mentioned, you may call it your reception department, but not after today, and that you want to be able to deliver that great guest experience and generate more revenue, then you're definitely in the right place. So this event is for leaders and not so much for your team member. Now, if you want educational programs for your team members that has to do with the guest relations, actually, we just revised the entire program. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it towards the end. There's 5 hours of education that's dedicated just for your team members. But the hour that you're going to spend with me, this is meant for leadership and not your team members. Now, as you know, if you've been part of our community for a while, the things that we teach all fall into the 4 S's. So the systems, structures, strategies, and solutions, which equal the 5th S. And to us, that should be your number 1 priority, is to run your business in a way that's going to be on autopilot because you've implemented the 4 S's. So here's what we're going to cover in the next 45 minutes to an hour. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to establish great foundation with your guest relations department. The second thing we're going to discuss is the strategic goals and targets you need to set for them, because often they have no idea how much revenue they need to help you generate, nor do they know how many people they can enroll. They don't have total clarity on the goals that they need to be able to achieve. The third thing we're going to talk about is how to structure for success with the right compensation model, because most people, when we first start working with clients, the one thing we talk about always is the compensation. And what we find most often is that the compensation model is not good for your guest relations department. So we're going to take care of that today. The other thing is how to actually practice and implement the 3 C's within your facility. And the 3 C's are your call management, your check-in, and your checkout. So we'll discuss that. Then we'll talk a little bit about the great guest experience. And then we're going to wrap it up with how can you arm your team with the proper tools, training tools, so everybody can elevate their success. So that's what we're going to be talking about for the next 45 minutes to an hour together. So I promise you that you're going to walk away. If you turn off all distractions and stay with me, you're going to be able to walk away with those 6 shifts to improve and transform your guest relations department. So are you excited? Give me some thumbs up. You're happy to be here? Yes, I'd love to hear some feedback. Tell us that you are with us. If you have any questions, you can always submit them, and we can address them at the end. I just want to talk to you a little bit about where you might be right now. Sometimes, as an entrepreneur, it's very lonely at the top. You may be laying sometimes at night, not knowing how you can improve your business. You're probably waking up in the middle of the night thinking about your receptionist. Why don't they do this, or why don't they do that? Why don't they generate more revenue for you? Why aren't they converting more callers into consultations? Do you ever get those thoughts? Or maybe you might be thinking, why aren't they enrolling enough people into your VIP program so you can be making thousands of dollars each single month on autopilot? Or maybe you're sitting there laying again in bed thinking, why do I have to repeat myself over and over and over? And these frustrations that we all experience with team members because they're not doing what we know they could be doing. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever sit up and say, there has to be a better way? Well, if you do, you're definitely in the right place, because what you're experiencing are actually symptoms to the problems that you are having right now. And those symptoms and problems are actually stopping you from reaching your true potential. And you know what? That problem and those symptoms that you have are fixable. That's the thing. You should be sleeping like a baby. You shouldn't have to wake up in the middle of the night wondering why your team is not doing what they need to be doing. But you know what? Once you make the shift that we're going to be talking about, then your life is going to be totally different. Because to me, when you have a good guest relations department that is a lean, mean working machine, you are going to be so much better off, and your business is going to grow like crazy. So all you really have to do is do the work to actually implement these 6 shifts, and then you're going to be on your way to success. And that's really what my goal is for our time together today, is to help arm you with what you need so your team can perform at the level that you know they can actually perform at. But the problem right now is they don't quite know how to do it, and you have not made these shifts to actually do it because you don't have the right structure in place. We don't have a performance-based compensation in place. And these are the things that we really need to work on. We want to make sure we deliver a great guest experience. So instead of them being order takers, because when that phone rings, that's all they do. They just answer it and say, oh, you want what? Okay, I'll do that, and call it a day, right? You know what I'm talking about. So instead, we want them to become revenue generators. To us, that's very important, to arm you with these things. Now, if this is your first time with us, again, my name is Dori Soukup. We've been doing this for the past 20 years, helping medical spas and spas become more successful. And we do it by delivering great business tools to help you succeed. Now, if you haven't gotten a copy of my most recent book, you should go to our website and get a copy of it on how to make millions with your medical spa. And I have 2 other books too. But I've had the pleasure to visit a lot of the continent that I was naming earlier, all the countries I was naming. I've been to most of them, except for Nigeria. And I would like to go someday. And what I've done for the past 20 years is I've taken all the challenges that everybody experiences and have developed systems and structure and solutions and strategies to help you become more successful. And nothing makes us happier than to get emails and get phone calls and get postcards from you saying how you have been able to achieve a higher level of success. As a matter of fact, we were so honored with all the work that we do that we recently won a consulting firm of the year for 2020. We were awarded this by My Face, My Body. And it's because of you coming to us and allowing us to help you that we have won this award. So I just want to start by saying thank you for being part of the InSPAration Management community and for being part of the webinar with us today. So great to have you. All right, let's start. Are you ready? All right, we're gonna start with number one, and that's having that nice solid foundation. Now, there are different ways to structure the foundation of your department. Now, I want to start by introducing you to Miss Denise Dubois. Denise is actually the founder and CEO of Complexions Medical Spa and Salon up in Albany and Saratoga. She has 2 locations, very huge, very successful. And she is so big that she has to have a call center and, of course, the guest relations department. She actually has 6 call center representatives that are actually working in a phone room, handling incoming calls, outgoing calls, selling different programs, selling memberships, enrolling people in. So it's the sales center is what makes it so nice. And then she has 8 guest relations representatives that actually work in the actual location at the front desk. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this to you is because depending on how large your organization is, you may want to consider having a call center, because then you can take some of the pressure off of your guest relations, because they're very busy individuals. They're handling many things, and things can really go crazy sometimes. So it's just an idea and a suggestion for you. So whatever structure you end up using, it's always great to choose the best path for your business. But for today's purpose and conversation, we're talking strictly about the guest relations team that's working at your location. And if you have any questions at all on how to set up a call center, I'll be more than happy to help you with that at a later date. But really, it all starts with the vision that you want to have. So I started this by imagining you waking up at night feeling all these things that you're not happy with. Well, now I want you to imagine or envision this ideal team that could be welcoming your guests and answering your phone and checking people out. What would that look like? What is your vision for your guest relations team? Because really it starts there. And if your vision is not clear of what you want, then how are you going to implement it? And that's really why I'm here today, is to help you clarify that vision a little bit by starting with the very first shift, and that's the proper foundation. Because when you have good, solid foundation, you're able to truly elevate your success. It'll set you free, because once you have the good foundation, you'll be able to run on autopilot. So where do we start with the foundation? Well, the first thing really is identifying your vision, mission, values, so you can share them with the team. That's number one. Number two, and I find this most often missing, and that's position descriptions for the team. Often we hire people and we don't clarify exactly what are those expectations from that person. And if you don't have a detailed, nice, long, detailed position description for this team, then you must start now. And you have to be as clear as possible of what the expectations are. And then, of course, the other thing is selecting the team. Because if you don't have the vision, mission, values, if you don't have understanding of what the position description really is all about, what is their role, and if you don't have the right team to actually do the job, then you better start all over again. But if you already have these things and you just need to fine-tune, then you're ahead of the game, right? So I gave you a list of different characteristics that apply to who should be the best person for that position. You know, what I'm going to say here, we are in the beauty, health, wellness industry. So image is very important. Communication methods are very important because we're targeting people who want to come and see us and spend thousands of dollars with us, right? And that person that picks up that first phone call, or the person that checks your affluent clients in, they need to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk. So image is key, and then followed with characteristics that are very important for you to be able to train and actually expect a certain level of performance from the people that are working with you. I want you to assess your team and think about the qualities that they have. And if they have most of these qualities, then that's great. They're good people. All you have to do is train them maybe a little bit more. But if they don't have good character, a positive aura, great communication skills, and they look the part, then you need to probably make some changes. So the foundation has to do a lot with the kind of team that you have. So I want you to assess your team and ask yourself, is this team going to help me reach the goals that I want? And if the answer is no, then maybe you need to make some adjustments. If the answer is yes, they have these good solid characteristics, great, but maybe they need some training. So that's the first shift that you need to make, is having clarity on what that position is all about. It's not just somebody answering the phone, my friends. It's way beyond that. If you want just somebody to answer the phone, that's an order taker. I'm talking about a revenue generator. So it's going to take a whole different kind of person to actually do that. You with me? Yes, yes. All right, shift number two that you need to do, and that's setting goals and targets. You know, I'm often, before the pandemic, I would go on location and be a secret shopper, and I would sometimes stand by the reception area and just watch and monitor. And a lot of times, actually, I would also call the place before I go in and listen to how they manage the phone call before I actually go in. And I have to tell you, sometimes it's just amazing to me what you hear. So my first advice to you is, if you have not shopped your call center or your reception department, whichever one you have, to see what they say lately, my advice to you is to definitely do that. As a matter of fact, that's probably where you should start, to give you an idea of where they are. It's so, so crucial to really see. So once you have that, though, and you have your team, and you need to be able to tell them the expectations, you need to be able to tell them the goals that they need. You've got to know your numbers. That's what I call that. You've got to know your numbers. So I'm just going to share with you some things that you definitely need to focus on. And one of them is, do you know how many calls you get per day, per week, per month? How many new callers do you get? And how many repeat callers do you get? If you don't know that number, you're not running your business properly. How about this? Number of consultations that are reserved. Do you know how many head-to-toe consultations your team reserves? Probably not. Do you? If you do, that's great. Congratulations. You're on the right path. How about this? How many do they actually convert from phone call to appointment, from phone call to consultation? How many of those do you get? See, these are all the responsibilities of the person you think who's just answering your phone. You see what I mean? It's not just about answering the phone. It's about being productive, being efficient, generating revenue for your business. That's what that position is about. How about this? How many members do they enroll in your membership program? How many? Do you know? How about this? Upgrade opportunities, retail sales, overall revenue. Does your team have target for every one of these things? And if they don't, you've got to make sure that they understand what their position is all about, what their role is, and what the expectations are. And when they realize that, and we tie that to compensation, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a second, then now it's no longer just answering the phone. Now they have a purpose. Now they have a goal and a target that they need to reach. And now you can reward them based on those targets that they reach. So it makes such a difference. And, people ask me, where do you get those numbers from? Well, if you have a budget and a forecasting mechanism in your place where you know exactly month by month how many calls you need, how many clients need to walk in, how many consultations you need to make, how much revenue per consultation, how much revenue per guest, and that's all outlined in here, then setting the goals and the targets for the team becomes super easy, because you can just go to your budget and you look for the month, and then you're able to share that information with them. It makes such a difference, you guys. So we teach something called your KPIs, right? Your target, key performance indicators. And in the Leap Ahead program, we shared actually the 5 R's. And that is also what you need to set targets for, by the way. Reviews, referrals, retention, recommendations, and reactivation. When you set targets for the team and you have a way to measure those targets and you're rewarding them based on the targets, oh my goodness, your performance will just absolutely soar, because now they know what they need to do and you're actually training them to do it. So the best advice I can give you is for your team to have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and they need to be for the number of treatments they need to reserve, how much in retail they need to make sure that walks out the door, the gift cards, and then of course enrollment for your membership. That's what they control. Yet these are the people that you hire who you think they're just going to answer your phone. No, they're not going to just answer your phone. They're going to help you succeed. So to me, they have one of the most important positions within your business. They're not just answering the phone. And often, they're the lowest paid people in your facility. I have so many people tell me, oh, I'm just going to hire a college student to come and, be my receptionist. That's like marrying someone and know that you're going to get a divorce, because a college student is going to leave you and go do what they're studying. So you have to be very careful who you recruit, who you hire, how you structure the position, making sure they have that clarity that we just talked about. You know how you can reward them. The more they can make, the more they generate for you, the more you pay them. And that leads me to the next shift that you need to make, and that's the compensation. And that's where so many people structure wrong. Most entrepreneurs, most leaders in our industry basically just pay the reception team just a flat rate. They get paid so much an hour. Or some may pay them for retail, but then they have this war going on between the team and them. So I'm going to solve that problem for you today. Aren't you happy? So the compensation model, the first thing you want to do is change your language on that and start calling it a compensation mix. We don't just pay an hourly rate. No one should just get paid an hourly rate. That's just not very smart. That's not good for the year that we are in. People want more. They don't want just an hourly rate. They want to be rewarded for a job well done. So your compensation mix for your team should be based on the hourly rate, so we call that a base, Then you have bonuses based on those targets that you're going to set for them, those revenue targets. Then you have your key performance indicators, and then you have benefits. So really, the hourly represents basically only about half of their compensation, maybe 60% at the most. The rest should come from bonuses, KPIs, and benefits. What makes this so nice, you guys, is that it gives them the opportunity to earn more the more they produce. It's what we call getting paid your true worth. That's what we call that. When you have people coming in to interview, what you want to do is show them that this is not just about clocking in and clocking out. This is about a career path. This is about being part of the team and adding value to the operation. That's what this is about. So the more worthy they are, the more opportunities they have to increase their income. So that's one thing. Then the other thing I want to help you with is you being a referee. This has got to stop, you guys. I can't believe that there are people still operating under that method. Here's the method. You have your providers making recommendations for retail, and then you have your guest relations who are also earning commission on retail, and then your provider might have recommended something, and then the receptionist maybe added more products to it or sold them more stuff. And now you have this war going on with who should get the commission. Well, that's not very smart structure. Instead, what we help you implement, as a matter of fact, what I'm sharing with you now is part of our volume per guest compensation model. And what we believe in is that your provider should get the regular commission plan that you have for retail, but your reception team, your guest relations team, should get a very small bonus based on everybody's retail, because they're going to ensure that those products go out the door. Now they're being an enhancer or a complement to what your providers recommended, and now they're working as a team instead of fighting who's going to get the commission, and you have to spend half an hour figuring out who's going to get what on your team. Bad structure. Instead, if you set up your compensation model in a way where everybody is working together as a team, and you reward your guest relations for doing a job well done in your organization, that's going to give them the opportunity to truly earn their true worth. So you've got to change that if you have this war going on in your facility. Not a good idea. So I would definitely advise you change that. So when you tie performance to compensation, so we call it a performance-based compensation model. You notice how my language is different? I want you to start using this language. Language is essential to how you deliver your message. And when you use proper language with your team, they see you as totally different than any other opportunity that they've had with other places. We want to attract the people that want to do good. We want to attract the people that want to get paid their true worth. That's the kind of team you want. The last thing you want is people clocking in and clocking out and exchanging dollars for minutes. Not a good plan. So that's what we need to do, you guys. So tie that compensation, that was shift number 3, to the actual performance. All right, number 4, implementing the 3 C's. And again, to remind you, the 3 C's are what? Call management, check-in, and check-out. And those 3 parts, that can make or break the business. Believe me, it definitely can make it or break it. And we definitely want to make it count, correct? So let's start with the call management. You know, so many people are still under the a la carte type of business model where someone calls in, I want Botox, I want a facial, I want a massage. They reserve that treatment, they come in, get the treatment, and leave. That model is causing you to lose a lot of money. It's not a very smart model, and you really need to do away with it. Instead, you need to place the priority on the call management. And the number one priority with call management is to do what? Reserve that consultation. If you teach your team that with every new call, new client reaching out, the number one priority is reserving, it's what we call a get to know you consultation, the head to toe consultation. We go over it in the Success with Guest Consultation program. It's called the Sacred System. When you teach your guest relations how to reserve the consultation, then you have a special team doing consultations. You literally can make thousands of dollars per consultation instead of doing it under the a la carte plan where you're only making a couple $100. I have a perfect example for you. One of our coaches was just on location helping a member actually open up. We went through the whole process of helping them open. So she was teaching them the sacred system. Now the reception department, the guest relations department, had reserved the consultation for someone that was an a la carte consultation because they had not fully implemented yet. And the person was coming in for Botox. That's it. That's all the person wanted. So instead, we had her go through the entire consultation process. And this was the very first consultation this person was doing. So she took, $350 average Botox treatment to over $6,000 in different treatments that the person actually purchased. And that is how you can go to multiple six figures each month if you do this part right. You guys, if you just walk away with what I just said, your time with me was well worth it. Because if you focus on reserving consultations, head-to-toe consultations, you will be able to make millions and millions of dollars in your facility, especially if you have a medical spa. You know, some people think, oh, doing $1 million is good. Doing $1 million sucks. You need to do at least $2, $3, $4, $5 million. That's what you should be doing. And you have the potential to do that. But because you have the a la carte mentality model, you're not doing it. And that's why you need to change that. And that changes with your guest relations first, and then with the guest consultation process. So everything that you do are different pieces of the puzzle that make the big picture appear brighter and more successful. And that's really what I want for you. So that was the call management. I just gave you one tip, but during the revised guest relations manual and program that we just finished completing, there's over 5 hours of information where I'm teaching your team how to do all these things, right? So now I'm just sharing with you how to structure the department. But once you structure it, then we have to make sure that the team does the things that they need to be doing. All right, let's move on to the second C, and that's the check-in process. The check-in process, that's, you know, the first impression that everybody talks about when you first walk in, and this is what I see in most cases. I walk into a place, whether it's a spa, a medical spa, wellness center, I don't care. The first thing they do, well, first I'll be lucky if they stand up and say welcome and smile at me. And then the second thing they do, they take their papers with the clipboard and right away, here, fill out some paperwork. What a great first impression, right? Ugh, ugly, not good, that's not a wow experience. What we want to do instead is show our hospitality. Be more hospitable and really impress them when they first walk in. Maybe offer a beverage first. Talk to them first. confirm the reservation that they have actually had. And then you can take them somewhere where they can have their beverage and fill out maybe their paperwork. Now, for the check-in, there are certain things that we teach that your team, your guest relations team, definitely needs to get the guest to complete. So we have the long intake form, that's for a brand new client. And then we have the short intake form, and that's for a repeat client. That's someone that's been with you already. Now, if we don't implement processes and systems within that department, and if they don't fill out this intake form where it gives your team, the providers, the opportunity to see concerns and then offer solutions, then again, the team is not united and they're not doing what they should be doing. So the responsibility of the check-in process is to create that great opportunity to impress them when they first come in, and then to make sure that they complete the paperwork that's going to help the providers make the proper recommendations for your guest. So this is key. They have to be consistent with the system so they can be most productive. And then, of course, you have the checkout process. And I just want to share with you this. Just this shift alone, you guys, will make such a difference in your process within the checkout process itself. So here's how it goes. So currently, what happens in most places is the team does the treatment, and then we're lucky at the end of the treatment if they come out to the reception desk and say what they did. Or some of you have electronic records. They might fill something out and then the guest relations team actually sees it. Well, if we want to be most productive, then what we want to implement is that guest recipe form. So that's, again, uniting the two teams together, by the way. So the guest recipe form is designed to actually allow your providers to write down any upgrades that they did, to write down the next appointment this guest needs to experience, and then what home care products they actually recommended. Now, the guest relations team's position is to take that guest recipe form and make sure they fulfill the order. That's what this is. This is your sales order. Yet in most places, we have no sales order. So how do you expect to make money if one department is not telling the other department what to do so they can generate revenue? I get excited about this because it's worthy of getting excited over. You implement just the guest recipe form and tell your team no one can check out unless the guest recipe form is turned into the guest relations team, and then them checking people out need to make sure that they reserve the next appointment, that they calculate the upgrade with the checkout process, that the retail products are going home with the guest. Now we've all worked together as a team, and now we're doing what's right for the guest and what's right for the team members and what's right for the owners so you guys can be more successful. You see? But if we don't have systems in place, then you're leaving success to a chance. You can't afford to leave success for a chance. That's not good. You don't want to leave money on the table. And right now, you're leaving probably $1 million on the table. You don't want to do that. Implement these shifts, and it's going to make such a difference with what you're doing. Isn't that exciting? It is. Now, shift number 5, and that's that guest experience. It's just, service these days is, and I'm not talking just in medical spas or spas, just service in general is lacking in so many places. And it's sad. So it's really easy to shine now. It really is. It's easy to shine if you sit down and think of what kind of experience do we want people to have. How can we get them to say, wow? How do we do that? How do we get clients to say, wow? We do it by the way we communicate, the rituals that we have, the way we have all of our process, the way we orchestrate the whole call management, the check-in, the checkout, what the providers do. So if we combine all these things together and we all commit to wanting to deliver the best experience possible, then we get the client saying wow. And when the client says wow, your retention rate will just skyrocket. It will just go crazy. So how do we do that? I just want to share with you one strategy that we teach, and that's called the daily success planning meeting. And when you do that meeting with your team and you discover who's coming in today, what do they like, what do they prefer, what kind of treatments can we also recommend to them, what kind of retail products will be ideal for them. When we do the planning for success, don't you love the name of that? It's called daily success planning. You're planning your success for the day. And when the entire team is on the same page for the day, success is within your reach. But if your team is coming in, this is what I see right now. The guest is already here. As a matter of fact, I was just getting my hair cut this past weekend. You like it? I was in there and I'm waiting for my gal to do my hair. So as I'm waiting, it was at 10 o'clock was my appointment. I had 3 other clients had come in. And this person from the back, there wasn't even a reception desk. So the person from the back comes up and says, oh, who's your appointment with? This was the language. Who's your appointment with? And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I need to give her that program. And then she proceeds to say, oh, she's not in yet. Now, it's already 10:05, and the hairstylist is not in yet. So the client is there, ready for their appointment, but the person that's supposed to be doing the appointment is not there yet. How does that happen? And not only that, not only is she just coming in with wet hair, last minute, oh, come on, okay, I'm ready, 10 minutes later, right, late. Forget doing a daily success planning meeting. They don't even know what that is. But that's what happens every day in your places. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, in most cases, most places. We can't have that. We can't have that if we want to deliver a wow guest experience. We have to set certain standards and expectations of our team and make sure that we do plan our success for the day. And when you do that, things will totally change. I know that because I've seen it change once people have made these shifts. But how do we do that? It's called training, training, training. And that's what Shift 6 is all about. You guys, if you invest in training, you will set yourself free. So I made you a promise in the beginning saying that I'm going to share with you these 6 shifts. Now, because of the time, I was only able to do it very fast, right? But you have to be able to realize the opportunities that you have and how you can truly transform that team. So how can you do that? How can we transform the team? Well, we do it by teaching them the 6 things that I just shared with you. We talked about the foundation, we talked about the targets and the goals, the proper compensation, teaching them how to truly do the 3 C's, the great guest experience, and then the last one is investing in training. And when you invest in your business and your team and you train them on what you want from them, then everything is totally different. So to me, now you have a choice. You can keep doing what you're doing if you want. That's fine. Or you can choose the path to success the fastest way possible. Now, people sometimes do this. They're going around in circles and circles and circles, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel over and over and over. So if I told you, I can teach your team on how to truly do that position and do it so effectively that they're going to help you generate millions, would you be willing to make a small investment to provide them these tools to help you make millions? I don't know about you, but I would definitely take someone up on that offer if they were able to give me a blueprint of what the program is all about. But again, it's totally up to you what you want to do. It really is. But just to give you a brief overview of what I've been working on to help our members, because our members have access to this totally free. But we have a lot of non-members on this webinar with us. And I truly wanted to share with you the same opportunity that we actually give them. Now, the opportunity is this, to be able to tap into 5 modules. That's over 5 hours of how to structure the department from a person, from your employee's standpoint. This is not training for you. This is training for your team so they know how to do their position. So module number 1 is teaching them how they should see that position and what it means truly to be a guest relations person in your facility. Module 2, this is the longest module of all of them, and that's me teaching them how to handle the phone calls coming in. You have scripts, you have a presentation, you have me showing examples on exactly how to do it for all 3 C's. Call management, check-in, and check-out. And then module number 3 is how they can improve their communication with your guest, because many people don't know how to communicate. And again, in the manual, we have scripts on exactly how they should say things and what they need to say. So we made it like it's almost like guest relations for dummies. And I don't mean any disrespect, because I love the dummies book. I have like 100 of them in my office. But truly, it is so simple to follow. I'm providing you the entire blueprint to actually make them more successful. And then the number 4 is me teaching them the buying process, so they are able to communicate a message to the guests that are calling your place, but be able to convert them at a much higher rate, because now they understand the buying process, where right now they're clueless. They have no idea what that's about. And then module number 5, I'm going to be the one telling them what should be expected from them, like setting their goals, monitoring their performance, how to measure their performance, how to get rewarded, how to become better at their career and have more advancements. Those are the things that right now your team probably does not know. Unless, of course, you're a member with us because you've had access to it. But literally, I have spent over 2 weeks revising and updating this program to truly help your team. We want to arm them with the tools so they can become better, so you can do better. And when you train them, they're able to perform at a higher rate. That's just a fact, is it not? It's definitely a fact. So it really makes me happy to be able to make that available for you guys. And I'm doing a little special for you. Usually I don't do this, you know that. But the normal price for the new revised guest relation is $19.95. I'm offering a special price today for being on this webinar for only $14.95. So all you have to do is go to inspirationmanagement.com, click on shop or just /shop, and then you'll be able to find the guest relations, and then use the code transform, because that's what we're talking about, transformation, transform in the code, and you'll be able to get the savings that we are applying for you. So if you really want to make those shifts, the best advice I have for you is to take advantage of that and tap into this great material. What I love about the manual, it even has a test at the end of it. So you can take it, it's in a Word document, and you're able to actually customize it as you wish, and then you give them a test at the end. So it has the position description in it, it has all the protocols, the procedures, all types of special words that they should be using. It's amazing. I mean, ask any member, they will tell you how impactful this program is. And we decided to make it available for you, even if you're not a member, so you can tap into this. So again, normally we don't do that. We like to provide all of our tools for mainly members, but we're doing that for you. Now, the other thing I want to do for you is, because people tell us all the time, Dori, you have so many different tools, like how do I know where to start? So the other special I'd like to do for you is invite you, if you have not had one of those calls, is invite you to have a success planning session with a team member of ours. So you can get on a Zoom meeting, be able to find out a little bit more about your business, your vision, what are you trying to accomplish, and then we can help you come up with a plan on how, again, you can reach success the fastest way possible. So to sign up for that, again, all you have to do is go to InSPArationManagement.com, right on the homepage, or /apply, and you'll be able to apply. You can reserve your appointment, and you'll be able to register for your success planning session because you attended this webinar. So take advantage of that. Again, you know, a lot of people say, well, why would you want to do that? I have been so blessed in my career. I am so thankful for God and all my blessings. I'm thankful for my team. And, you know, you have to give. When you receive, you give. And actually, I give and then I receive. I found that works a lot better, actually. And I just like to contribute to the industry that we're in. That's why we give my book away for free. You know, why not? If I can help make your life easier, then I'm going to do it. And by me helping you get what you want, we automatically also get what we want. And it works great for both of us. It's a win-win all the way around. So take advantage of the things that we talked about. Start implementing these shifts that we discussed, the 6 shifts. And believe me, you'll start seeing such a difference in that reception department or guest relations department. It's all about starting with you. You as a leader, you have to decide, what do I want from this department? Are they truly delivering? And if they're not, then you definitely need to make a change. You need the shifts. And we're here to help you in any way we can. It'll be my pleasure and honor to have you be working with us if you're not already a member. And if you are a member with us today, again, thank you for being part of our community. We love having you. If you're not a member, you can always go and check out the Flying High to Success membership program that we offer, so you can gain access to all the tools that we have. Everything that we do is definitely something that we can help you with. So you can either go on the website or call us or email us at any time. So we are here for you. So this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I would like to actually open it up maybe for some questions right now, but I want to first say thank you so much. Stay healthy and safe. Thank you for all of our friends that joined us from all around the world. It's a great honor to have you be with us today. Thank you so much, and until next time, stay inspired. All right, so let's take it to Tara, see if we have any questions.
Okay, Dori, we do have some questions questions, but I just want to open up. We have so many people that commented. Thank you so much, Dori. Melinda said she cannot wait to implement the program, so I'm getting goosebumps from everybody saying thank you. But let's ask some questions. Caitlin wants to know, how do you track all the numbers from the calls coming in?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, your phone system, if you have a special phone system, they can actually give you reports. And then there are certain marketing companies that put a special number on your website. And when the phone rings from that number, then you know that certain people are calling from certain resources that you have. So it could be from your website, it could be from Facebook or Instagram. So you can do it through your phone system that you have. You can tell how many calls you received, how many of them were brand new calls. So really you have to look at your phone system and see what kind of statistics they can actually send to you. And then the other way you can do it also is what we teach. And again, this is part of the program, by the way. I'm just going to give her a quick little tip here. When the phone rings, you know, the way we greet, the way we teach people to greet the phone call is, this is Dori. Thank you for calling InSPAration Management. This is Dori, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking. So then if you're calling the medical spa or spa, your team should take their name. Let's say, oh, this is Dori. Hi, Dori. What is your last name, please? It's Soukup. Great. So they should punch me in your software system. And if I show up, that means I'm a repeat caller. If I don't show up in your system, that means I'm a brand new caller. And now it's their responsibility to create a new profile in the system for me, because now I'm a new caller. So you can actually run a report at the end of the day of all the new profiles that were actually put into your system, and that's going to give you a number of all the brand new people that were just entered into your system. So there are many different ways to really crunch the numbers. So you might have to use a variety of different resources, but it can definitely be done.
Someone just asked, do you have a phone system you would recommend?
Actually, the one we use is very good. It's called NextGen, and it records all the phone calls. This is something we did not talk about, but I believe in using recordings for training purposes, where, I mean, Tara can tell you, we gather certain phone calls on regular basis, and we all sit down and we critique those phone calls. We find out how are we doing, what can we improve. So definitely it would be a great way to record and monitor the phone calls and get reports.
Perfect. So, Dori, we have a question. What would you do if the team does not watch the training?
Fire them. No. You know, again, it all starts with that hiring process. And if you already have a team, then it's time to do what we call a fresh start. It's something that, again, we teach, and where you actually reintroduce your new vision and mission for the business, and you pass out these position descriptions, commitment agreements, the expectations, and you gain buy-in. So they're signing up to be part of this team again, and what it means to be part of the team. And being part of the team means attending training and learning the things that they need to be doing. Now, if that does not happen, then there has to be some consequences set up. And those, by the way, should be also in your employee manual. If you don't have one, we have one for you. But your employee manual should actually outline the way you reward, the way you compensate, the way you have consequences, the way you reprimand. And frankly, if you have somebody on your team that does not want to go to training, well, let me back up a little bit. So imagine you're playing for a sports team, and let's say NBA, NFL, whatever, and one of the players comes up to the coach and says, you know what, I don't think I want to come to the training today. What do you think they would do with that person?
Trade them.
Trade them. They're gone. What do you mean they don't want to learn? They don't want to train. If they don't want to train, they're the wrong person for you. Seriously. So I would try to help them understand first why it's important to train. And if they don't get it, then I'm going to refer them to the competition. So that's what we do with those.
Classic Spa from Instagram, Dori, who's live with us, wants to know, what if the team member is only and works for a call center?
Is only, what do you mean?
The people answering the phone is on a call center.
Oh, in a call center. Like, you mean their own, or a call center that's a service?
She didn't really clarify, so if Classic Spa with
It sounds like it's a call center that's a service, probably. Well, that, I mean, you can't do much with. You know, to me, you've got to have your own people answering the phone. You've got to have your own team member. You can't just count on a service from the outside to answer your phone calls. I mean, that's okay if you're closed, but during working hours, you need to have your own team members answering the phone, checking people in, checking people out, so we can really do right by them. Because if it's a call center that's just answering phone calls for, you know, every Bob and Joe and Bill, then you're not going to be able to train them on the things that we're talking about.
And to clarify, when you talked about Denise, someone asked, Denise has her own call center.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's for sure, yes. Yeah, she has her own employees in her own call center. That's what I'm talking about.
Next question, how much time should someone devote to this learning material?
Okay, it should take them probably a couple weeks. We're talking about over 5 hours of material, and there's homework with each section, each module. I would give someone, like if it's a brand new hire you're just bringing in, it really is going to take them at least a couple of weeks to learn everything. You need to role play, practice, rehearse. You want to make sure they understand how to use the software system. So we're talking about at least 2 weeks of like really training. And then of course you want to do continual training. This is not just the beginning and the end. It's the beginning, but it needs to keep going on and on and on, because they're going to get better and better and better the more they do it.
Maggie here has a question. As a day spa, we usually never have consultations unless a client is unsure about skincare needs and needs assessment by an esthetician. Is there a way to incorporate a consult for a day spa that is not able to transition to a med spa?
No, absolutely. Because even when you have a day spa, there are certain things people suffer from that need really a whole customized program for. You're talking about stress. You know, people needing to have certain massages, body treatments, whether you're doing facials. That's the thing with day spas. A lot of people think only the facial department should be the only one doing consultations. That is like not the truth at all. You can actually customize a program for someone that will include all the different treatments that you have in a day spa. As a matter of fact, that will be your biggest unique selling proposition, my friend, because then you will be totally different than any other day spa. You need to teach them. Let me tell you how we do treatments here at XYZ Day Spa. What we do, everything, every treatment we do is customizable to you. For us to be able to deliver on that, we start every new guest with a head-to-toe consultation, so we can truly discover what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, and then be able to customize a wellness and a beauty program just for you. Now, normally this consultation is $100, but this month we have it on special, or you can say, because this is your first time here, we would love to offer it for you for either this or complimentary, whichever way you want to do it. I usually like to also charge for the consultations because it gives it even more value. And then if you want to give it away as part of their treatment package, so it ends up being free, that's even better. But don't let what's happened in the past and how people were accustomed to doing day spa treatments stop you from doing something unique and different to truly help you differentiate from the competition. I think you can do the consultation no matter what kind of business you have. It's amazing. As a matter of fact, we were just doing the Millionaire Circle seminar, and I was showing different examples for Tiffany does a consultation. Did you know that? They even have it on their website. They actually set up an appointment so they can sit down and find out what kind of ring you want to buy, what kind of bracelet you want to buy. They do a consultation. So what other jewelry store does that? So don't be afraid to separate from the rest.
We have a comment here. Kai just mentioned, I can attest that since implementing the client consultation as per Dori last year, I have realized an uptick in my business, and I am a solopreneur, so it is really worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely. And especially for, I mean, we're talking about all different departments here, but you know, there are some people, I was doing a success planning session actually with someone who wants to become a high achiever, which is our highest level of membership. So I actually got on the phone for a few minutes and I was asking her what her average volume per guest for facials were. And this was a medical spa, not even a day spa. And it was under $100. Like, how can you do a facial for under $100? Like, that should never, ever, ever happen. And then the other thing, this is in Chicago too. Like, we're talking on the most affluent avenue, on Michigan Avenue. They spend millions of dollars opening up this medical spa. And then she proceeds to tell me, and you know, I know you like memberships, so we're gonna launch a membership. And I said, oh, what pricing are you thinking about? She's like $49. I'm like, what the fudge? Are you kidding me? Massage Envy is at $79. You have this multi-million-dollar facility, and she says, well, but that's what everybody's telling me. Just get them in, get them in. Get them in my foot. Are you kidding me? No. The first advice I always give people when they first start working with us is raise your prices. But if you have the value and the experience to back it up, you can truly charge what you want.
Judy Santana is live with us from Instagram, and she commented in, I need help with the structure of my business. Is this the first place I should start, or should I start somewhere else with you?
Well, she should really start with the success planning session. I would go to our homepage, go ahead and reserve that so we can learn a little bit more about what you have going on now. We can do a quick little assessment, and then we can better advise you that way. But listen, the guest relations department is definitely a must no matter what. That department is the heart of your operation. And if you don't have it done properly, if they're not trained properly and structured properly, you're fighting a losing battle. I'm just telling you, I'm being very honest. So you definitely need the guest relations, but you probably need to go beyond.
And I love this question. What is a good bonus to offer the receptionist?
What is a good bonus? Yeah, so we go over that in the whole bonus structure. So we believe in bonusing them based on reaching the overall target. So let's say you want to do $100,000 in revenue from treatment revenue per month, and then let's say you want to do $50,000 in retail. So we tell the team that's what we want to reach. So we want to do $150,000 in revenue. Now we would bonus them based on them helping you reach that target. And the bonus usually is set up based on how much do we want them to average overall between all the compensation mix per hour, because it all comes down to an hourly rate, right? So do we want them to, let's say their base is $15 an hour. Then the bonus, based on the level of targets they reach, can give them the opportunity to make $16 an hour, $17, $18, $20, $25, whatever you want. You know, if you're in Chicago, you know, $20 an hour is like barely making it. So depending on your location, then what we do is we structure the bonus based on what is the seat in your business worth. So we have an entire process for that we can walk you through, but definitely you want to make it a target of the overall revenue. So treatment sales, retail sales, membership enrollments, whatever is important to you to help you succeed should be a bonus to them.
Perfect. comment from Caroline, who's live with us on Facebook. She wants to know, the special you mentioned earlier, do you come with the special?
Wouldn't you like that? That's so cute. Thank you. That's so sweet.
So Jennifer wants to know, Dori, I'm having a hard time and struggling with the implementation and the follow-through. What are your thoughts on staff treatments, ? And what is a good protocol for staff treatments, including Botox and fillers?
Well, first of all, you don't need to call them staff anymore because staff is an infection. You want to call them team. All right, I have a very big philosophy on that, so I'm glad you asked that question. I believe in that being part of your key performance indicators. Just like we do loyalty program for our clients, we should do like some kind of a loyalty and reward program for our team. And every time the team does something good, maybe you can give them some points. And they can accumulate points during the month for getting caught doing great things or running the numbers and they're doing great things. Then you'll assign a certain value of treatments that they can have from you. And that's how they should get treatments for Botox, fillers, this and that. You should never, ever, ever just give away free treatments. Never. They should earn them because those are, just because maybe the rep gave you some units for free does not mean you should give it to the team for free. Now, of course, I want them to look good, but I want them to earn it. So it's very important for you to come up with those KPIs, key performance indicators, and then you tie the rewards to it. So remember, with the compensation mix, we talked about an hourly rate, we talked about benefits, we talked about rewards and bonuses, right? So those KPIs should be part of those rewards that you give out, and the rewards can be treatments that you can offer the team. So that's what we teach on how to structure that. And you know what she just said is all so solvable. Oh my gosh, she's golden. All she has to do is start implementing some of our systems for the structure that she needs, and she'll be rocking and rolling. She should do a success planning session if she hasn't registered yet for it.
Another question, instead of providing those treatments to the team, would you recommend giving them complimentary to influencers in the community?
Well, that's a little bit different. You should still do that. So that has nothing to do with what your team structure is. I truly believe in doing some influencers, treatments, media events to complement, to give them complimentary treatments. I mean, those are a little bit different than what we're talking about with the team. Yes, you should definitely do both.
June has a question. How many people in the guest relations department is a good number to start with?
Well, it depends on how many treatment rooms you have and how many phone calls you get and how busy you are. So that would be, I mean, a determining factor. You don't want just to hire people and have them standing around twirling their thumbs. So there is a formula for that. So you need to take into consideration the traffic flow, the number of calls, and then you make a decision. Are we accommodating people in an effective manner, or are we making people wait? Like, I hate it when people make me wait to give them money. I was in a store the other day buying something. I don't remember what it was. I think it was expensive. And I'm standing in line. I'm waving at the cashier, say, can somebody else, come and help? And she's like, oh, I'm the only one. Well, you know what I did? I put it back and walked out. We should never make people wait to take money from them. It's crazy. I'm giving you money and you're making me wait. So, yeah, so that will depend on your flow.
How do you stop the reception team from playing favoritism? For example, giving one provider more appointments than the other.
Oh, I mean, again, we have something called power rotation. No one should be getting more appointments just because they're friendly with the guest relations. Again, we have processes in place for that. And normally, who we give the appointments to, or especially the new appointments to, are the people with the highest retention rate. So we have this power rotation going on in your team process. And whoever has the highest rotation, they should be getting those. So you as a leader will be monitoring that, and then you would question, of course, how come this person got this new person when they don't have the highest retention rate? So there are all kinds of checks and balances that we can implement within your business to make sure that those kind of things don't happen.
Jennifer, who had
all right, we'll take one more question.
Jennifer had the struggle with the implementation and follow through, says another struggle is we're having a hard time getting consents for before and after pictures, therefore we don't have any from the guest relations. What's your advice to get the guest relations to get them signed?
Well, it should be part of your initial paperwork that they should sign. It should not be, and then when they go into the consultation process, also that other second person can check and make sure that they were signed. That's essential. I mean, you cannot not have before and after pictures. I mean, that's a crime. You gotta have that. Now, some people may refuse to sign it, so that's okay, but there are so many that would sign it. The thing is, again, if you tie it to the bonuses, and that's how you get people to take action and do their job. Because if they don't get people to sign it, that means they don't qualify for bonuses. Yeah. You can't have the wild, wild west, you guys. You gotta have systems, structures, strategies in place, and they've got to be implemented. I mean, you just have to. You can't have the wild, wild west.
I'm going to take this one question and then I'm going to end with this statement because it's so powerful. The last question is, we are trying to start our social media marketing. This is off topic. Do you think it's best to hire a marketing team or an in-house team member, and is this part of the guest relations team?
Okay. It could be part of the guest relations team if you have enough and they have enough time to actually do it. I much prefer having an internal person because then you can do things. Because the hardest thing, I'll tell you, when you hire a marketing company is they're not on location. They can't take a video clip. They can't take a picture. They can't get a testimonial and post it right away. They can't show a treatment that you're doing. So having someone internally for your social media is really the best way to go, even if it's a part-time person, rather than hiring a full-blown marketing company that's off location. It can be more real, because what happens when you hire a marketing person, you end up with all kinds of stock images, stupid posts that have nothing to do with what you do, and it just is not as effective. So I would highly recommend taking a couple of days from a guest relations person or a marketing intern. I'm having all my clients now hire interns for social media. You can teach them what to do and they can be putting this stuff out for you, and it's a very low budget. So you could do something like that too.
And this is my statement. I got goosebumps when Melinda just sent it in. She said, since implementing some of Dori's Leap Ahead program, we have had almost 300 new clients in the last 90 days. Wow. With having 2 lockdowns. They are in Canada. Her last statement is, just listen to Dori! Exclamation point.
Just listen to Dori. Thank you so much, Melinda. Wow, you gave me goosebumps. Thank you so much. And really, that's why we do what we do, you guys, for comments like that. And I can't wait to hear your comments in the future of you implementing and getting the benefits that we can help you provide and achieve. So I'm so glad you joined us today. Again, God bless. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Thank you for all of our friends from all around the world, the U.S. Thank you for all of our members. And I love you all. So God bless. And until next time, stay inspired. Bye now.